Participate in this event this morning, which puts in front of us a very important issue, which is the impact of COVID-19 and its prevention measures on the mental health of children in Montenegro. Like the protector said, the pandemic has affected every child in the planet, but not every child in the same way. Some children have been more affected than others. Children who were disadvantaged already before the pandemic, like children with disabilities, children living in institutions, and without parental care, without the care of their families, were affected more heavily than other children. This is one of the key findings of the report that we're launching here today. And it needs to be seriously considered by national and local authorities during the development of future policies in all areas affecting children, in finance, in social welfare, in education, in health, culture, and sports. Specifically, this report indicates that the pandemic has affected children's mental health, and the protector already discussed the importance of mental health for children's well-being. Almost half of all high school students who reported in this report told us that they felt upset, insecure, or angry, almost always or very often during the time of the pandemic. This is very telling to their own mental well-being. For these reasons, UNICEF throughout the pandemic has supported several initiatives, the National SOS Lines for Children and the National SOS Line for Parents. UNICEF has also helped working with the education system in schools to promote socio-emotional skills development integrated into everyday school. We have recently launched with the Institute for Public Health the Bebo app, which is an app for parents of children up to 6 years of age. All of these interventions promote the mental health of families. We call upon national and local authorities to make sure that these kinds of interventions are sustainable in the future and also available to every child and family in Montenegro. In addition to promoting these services, UNICEF is ready to endorse and work with national institutions to establish new services that support the mental health and well-being of every child and family in the country. One example that can and should be done more of is in accessibility to sports and cultural activities for every child in Montenegro as an integral part of mental health and well-being. This report also warns us about the educational and developmental loss that girls and boys have experienced during the periods of closed schools, distance learning, and open schools, but also with shorter time for learning. Primary and high school students have complained about the lower quality of education during the pandemic. UNICEF will continue to call for all schools to remain open with full respect of epidemiological measures, including the consideration to return to the previous duration of class time. Schools are a critical environment for children's learning, for children's safety, for their mental health, and for their well-being. To this end, it will also be very crucial to support teachers in this endeavor and to never lose the focus of those most disadvantaged children in this situation. Finally, the report also shows us that children and young people did not meaningfully participate in the development and the assessment of measures during the pandemic. As a democratic society, Montenegro should include all stakeholders in decision-making in processes that affect their lives. This is one of the fundamental principles of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, that every child has a right to participate in all matters and decisions that affect their lives. Therefore, we call upon national and local authorities to regularly consult with children and young people about the policies that are relevant to their lives. To conclude, I would like to congratulate the Ombudsperson and his team for this report and very specifically for the recommendations. The recommendations in the report are very concrete. They are aligned to the national institutions that are responsible for moving these recommendations forward, and UNICEF will work with the Ombudsperson and his team to work together jointly with these national institutions to make sure that this is not just a report, that these are not just recommendations, but that these are turned into action for the better well-being of children and their families. Thank you very much. Hvala vam.